sell me on Ridder, because I think I had some serious questions about him going to this.
Ridder, for me, and again, it goes back to me being a quarterback coach. It's like, okay, well, he does all the stuff that you're trying to teach a quarterback to do technically, in terms of his pocket movement, in terms of his eye discipline, in terms of finding routes down the field in a progression type of manner. He does all that stuff at a high level. Is the accuracy perfect? It ain't. Okay, let's just put it out there. It ain't.
Right.
And that's a concern, right? You're playing quarterback. You would have been able to throw the ball to the receiver. That's in front of you, right? So, like, that is definitely a concern. But again, all that technical stuff that he's doing is super high level. So, like, I like that type of thing. Whereas, like, Howell is a good example of kind of the opposite, where here's a guy who's got a strong arm to throw the ball down the field, pretty good accuracy numbers, great production, for 3 years, even though, in his third year starting, they lose a ton of NFL talent, and the offensive line is just kind of just okay for 3 years there, really. And he still goes out there and competes there and has a pretty good season. The technical ability is very different. Like, he's a little jittery in the pocket. His feet get out of whack sometimes, but he makes plays. So it's like, all right, like, I'm going to side with a guy like Ridder, but I could certainly see Howell, them kind of being at the same level to a certain degree, because he's got, and like, you're taking a Howell, you're saying, okay, we can fix that stuff. And he has this, quote unquote intangible stuff. He's a playmaker, he's a baller, whatever. And if you feel that way, then go ahead and take Howell over Ridder, and I'm kind of okay with that.
All right. So going to dive into your QB coach knowledge here. So it seemed like Ridder has a problem of aiming, not throwing sometimes, where like kind of like the old baseball thing, like don't aim for the strike, just throw, let it go. Because there are times where he has the arm strength to be fine, and he'll skip some balls that just should not be underthrown for the distance and his arm strength. Does it seem like it's the accuracy problems almost like in his head at times, where he's like, I need to deliver this and it's just not there?
The first time I watched him, and it wasn't even to watch him, it was just to watch the Cincinnati offense, as they were going through their run this year. That's what I thought was, because I felt like I had the same thing when I played quarterback, and it's just like, it's almost like a depth perception problem, where you're like, oh my God, I got to throw it's exactly what you said. Like, I got to throw this perfectly. It's got to be right there, right there, right there. And then you end up underthrowing a lot of balls. And I thought, especially deep balls, he underthrew a lot. I think he did get better, especially in 2021. 2020 had some issues throwing the ball down the field, but a lot better in 2021. So, yeah, I think to me, it's a depth. Now, you could get into the granular details of his hip mechanics and stuff like that. But I do think it's, like you said, I think it's a mental thing. I think he can really drive the football. He throws I remember seeing him, when they played UCLA in his first year starting. I was like, oh, this kid's got a cannon. And so the ball can be thrown really hard in a certain range in front of him. It's just when he's really trying to push the ball out to the sideline and down the field that it can die on him. But I believe, because I've seen it in other places with him, that it's more of a mental thing than like the physical thing, or it's more of a mental or technical thing than a physical thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, I guess the question is, like, can he be coached out of that? Obviously playing Cincinnati, not the greatest competition playing the American. He's going to go and play. He's going to go and play in the NFL. Would going high almost be detrimental to him, where he's probably not going to ton of pieces around him, and now he's trying to figure all this out on the fly, with probably a coaching staff that either is brand new to the team or is like on the way out with the team.
Yeah, like I agree. I think that's going to be a tough transition. I think just in general, you're going to have tighter windows, which is going to be tough. That's kind of one of the things. I wrote an article about him the other day or a month ago, and I think he came out pretty low in terms of like tight window throws. Just didn't have to make them. And again, like, I think he's very smart in terms of how he goes through his progressions, how he finds the open receiver. It's just like, oh, okay, let me go through my progressions. Oh, this receiver's open. Oh, he's wide open because I'm playing in the AAC type of thing. So that's obviously something that's going to happen. That it doesn't exist in the NFL, right? Like, we know that.
Right.
So I think that's the transition that and the underthrows are really where where he's going to have to make strides. The nice thing is that he has made strides every year that he's been a starter. Where it's kind of, I felt like Sam Howell was this player from 2019, 2020, 2021. It just felt like it was kind of the same type of player. And he came in there as a true freshman and lit the world on fire at UNC, especially. So that's where I'm like, with Ridder, I'm like, hey, well, I see a progression. He's clearly learning. He clearly takes coaching well. So hopefully he can continue to do that when he gets to the NFL.
Yeah, and he's a great athlete. I think he had like a 9.61 RAS, which I believe would be like the third highest of any first, second round pick since like 2017 for quarterback. So like he's got plenty of tools to be good. Hey, this is Matt Stopsky from Up and Smoke Football Podcast. Thanks so much for checking out the video. If you could, like, share, subscribe, the whole number. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at mstopsky. On Instagram, it's at mstopsky75. And on TikTok, at mstopsky. I'll be doing videos every week. So if there's a player or a team you want me to go into, leave it in the comments below. See you guys next week.